Muzkast Experience with Aaron and Dave, and on the Zoom,
Saving Darkness.
Thank you, Aaron. It's Saving Darkness. We got
Frank
well,
Bull.
you guys introduce yourselves.
All right, I'll go first. I'm Frank Bull. I'm the singer, do most of the lyrics and part rhythm guitar player.
He's got a pawn shop back there
Yeah,
behind him.
yeah, he's got lots of guitars hanging on the wall.
To be a part-time guitar player, I sure got a lot back there, huh?
I got a lot of guitars, but I don't play well.
And who's the other one?
I'm Andy. I'm the bass player. I've been with the band just a little over a year now, but I've known these guys for quite a many years.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I'm just going to start at the beginning. How'd you guys get together?
Well, I don't know if you can see this sign back over to my right, Forgiving Grace. That was a short period of time. We had a different band that me and Mike, the lead guitar player, was in, and it was more of a praise and worship style band. It didn't last that long, about 4 or 5 months, and then me and Mike branched off and started Saving Darkness, and that's where Jesse came into play, and another guy who was with Forgiving Grace too, but he's no longer with us. But that's how we got started, and then it transitioned it from there. From praise and worship, we went to rock. We got a little harder rock, and then it kind of progressed to sort of the metal side of things. So that's kind of the idea. We want to give a variety of stuff out to people, so that we may be able to reach people through different styles of the music.
Well, you know, when I was listening to your albums, and you got 2 albums up on Spotify,
Right.
That's what I was like, okay, I can hear Southern rock. There's a little classic rock in there, and there's a little screamo, and
Yeah.
you guys got just a mix of everything.
Absolutely.
It's like throw it all in the pot, man, and just stir it.
Absolutely. You got 4 or 5 people with different influences. All those influences come into play when we do our songwriting and lyric writing, and that's the way it develops for us. We like to let it develop naturally with a message in mind. So that's
Well,
how
and
music comes up.
the message is clear. I mean, there's no hiding what you guys are about.
Absolutely. And we always say that's, before, when we didn't do any screaming stuff, and then we like it, we just use it as ad libs, but we have to be able to be understood, and the message and the point being straightforward. And so that's why, because like I said, I write most of the lyrics, and I want them to be biblically founded with that right message. And of course, through the hard times of Christianity.
Right.
It's not a cakewalk. Actually, it's harder. And that's what we want people to see. Hey, we have those situations in our life just like you do. So we're no different, and
So-
that's what we want people to understand.
Do any of the other guys ever come in, and maybe this is a question more for you, Andrew? Do any of the other guys ever come in and go, maybe we're being too overtly Christian on this? Maybe we tone this one back. Does that ever happen? Never.
Not really.
It
I
has.
mean, the lyrics are sound when you actually get to them and listen to them. And there's a couple of them that have helped me back before I even joined the band to just kind of get reconnected and feel a better way about how I was feeling in the day. I mean,
Cool. Well, yeah, and don't get me wrong. I felt I needed to ask that question because like I said, you listen to the music and there's no doubt. I mean, your Christian rock is far more Christian than Petra's Christian rock. I mean, that's how in your face it is.
And that's why, and we wanted to be separate from everybody else in that aspect. Because I mean, I'm 55 and the generations below me, they're not going to listen to hymns and Southern gospel. They're just not going to. They're not going to go to church, much less, hear anything like that. But if you put different styles out there that and I've had people come up to me in secular venues crying and saying, man, I needed to hear that song. And I give her a CD and said, well, here, it's on this CD here. So take and listen to it again. And so just that one instant there really makes all the work, all the money you put into it worth it.
Yeah, it's got to feel good. It's got to feel good when someone tells you, hey,
Absolutely.
This song really touched me this way, even if that's not what the song was about, but because everybody interprets it differently. And puts it to their own
Absolutely.
life.
Well, we just recently had a situation where we was playing in a secular venue with all secular bands, and I think something was heard that, why you got a Christian group in here? But when we're in the secular scene, we're gonna act like professionals. We're gonna do what we're supposed to do, and we're gonna let the music do its job. Now, we didn't come there to preach to them and hit them in the head with the Bible. So we're gonna do our job, get off the stage, and we're gonna support them.
You don't throw the Bibles out like Striper did. You don't just
No,
like
not in a secular venue. It just kind of depends on where you're at. If you're in a secular venue and they didn't come to hear the gospel, and we give the gospel through a song, we're over here at the merch table waiting. If you want to talk to us, we're here available. Just making ourselves available.
You know, Aaron and I go to this festival out here in Sacramento called Aftershock. It's a big rock festival, and it's 3-4 days. It's 4 days this year, and so I belong to this Aftershock group on Facebook, and I put up a video of Disciples Rise Up, which I think is just a great live video, and I asked the question, would these guys be welcome at Aftershock? Because they're so Christian.
Right.
And all the responses, I got like 75 responses. All the responses were, if the music's good, that's all we care about.
That's right.
And that's kind of what you're doing, which is throwing
Well,
in the mix, right?
How many times have you listened to music growing up? You never even knew. You might have heard the words in there, but you wasn't paying attention to it. You know, not for
Right.
salvation. And you look, man, I was singing, I want to be on the highway to hell. You know, and I'm thinking, we love the music and it was the beat. And so then you start thinking about that later. And so that's my hopes in the lyric writing, is that later on, when they're laying there in the bed and the refrigerator is the only thing they hear running, some of those things pop up into their head.
Well, I saw this actually on Facebook this morning, and it's kind of along the same lines, which is people listen to music in two different ways. Sometimes you throw yourself into the music, and sometimes you throw yourself into the lyrics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a daughter that's a violin player, and I've told her that all growing up. When you're on stage, you got to step into the music. You got to be the music. That's when the emotions come out, because you're a storyteller, and that's what it's all about.
So you're going to bring her on stage with you guys? You're going to get yourself a fiddle player too, and
Hey, you never know.
do some Devil Went Down to Georgia, you know?
Hey, we'll throw a cover in there every now and then. We'll throw a secular cover in there. I mean, we do Kill Switch Engage.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do one of those. We did one of those recently at a show we opened up for who was that, Andy?
Blacktop Mojo.
Yeah, or no,
Oh,
Shallow Side.
Side. Yeah, we did it on that one too. Blacktop Mojo. We did it at sound check.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That's
You know,
pretty
we saw Red one time, and they did a cover of Smells Like Teen Spirit, and just out of the blue, but it's a good way to relate to the audience and connect with the audience, especially if they don't know your music.
Exactly. Yeah.
They know that, and so they can connect, and it's really cool. So Kill Switch
they're
Engage,
kids.
that's one I don't normally hear, you know?
Yeah. Well, actually, the headlining band came out of the green room when we started off that song, and they was like, "Hey, you know, that's pretty." They liked it, you know. So, you know, it grabbed their attention, and they play, you know, 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
They're on stage. They're touring.
So you're out in South Carolina? Is that where you are?
Yeah, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Andy's from Gaffney, which is about 20 miles northeast of Spartanburg.
How's things out there? You're not being affected by this hurricane that's coming through, are you?
Well, it may sweep just west of us, and I'm going to Myrtle Beach next week, so I hope it stays west and keep heading up north. I got one more work day for a long overdue vacation, so I hope it misses us. But
we're here in Northern
Cal.
California, and we're on fire. So
Right.
it's smoky, really bad here now.
I'll be honest with you, out here today, it's pretty hot. I mean, it's in the 90s, and it's high humidity, and it's
I
just,
was gonna say, when it's 90 in South Carolina, that you got to go throw humidity in there too. You already know.
instant
I'm out
sweat.
working in it right now, actually. I'm at work, but getting a break for a second to do this with y'all. So
Oh, nice. Well, thanks for taking a break.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that. So now there is a song, and it's the first video that's on your website. What's the name of the song?
Our first video was Asking Mercy.
Is that the one that's on there? Aaron's looking it up. I'm really bad with names of songs, but I wanted to focus on the guitar riff that's on that thing because I dig it. And then you got the double kick pedal. You know, the double kick, I absolutely love it. And it's one of those ones that I just know that if somebody did it on every single song of their album, I go, that's way too much double kick. But at the same time, when I hear it, I go, I could take that for an entire album. Haunted. Right?
Song.
Yeah. Haunted, right?
Haunted, yeah,
Okay.
their biggest single.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
our new one.
Haunted is actually off our third album that we haven't released yet.
Oh, really? So that's a new one.
It is a new one. Haunted and Bury the Dead are two that's been released from the new album that we're still finishing. We're still working on it.
Cool. It sounds great.
I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 song CD, I believe is what it's going to turn out to be.
I think that's what we came out with.
Yeah.
So like an EP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. So now you guys are staying busy. You're well, Aaron told me you got a show coming up with Last Trumpet and
Faith Head.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in Tennessee, and Seventh Trumpet, they're out of North Carolina.
You know the guys in Faith Head?
We've played with them one time a long time ago, but it's been a while since we've been around them. But we're connected with obviously social media.
All right. So here's I got a project for you guys.
Okay.
When you see Pete Iddle,
Okay.
I want you to just tell him I've got this amazing slide guitar player you just have to hear.
All right, I'll do it. We'll do it.
And he'll know.
Okay. Cool.
He'll know.
If you go back to our older shows, you can listen to the interview. It was quite funny.
Yeah. I've got a ton of guitars. I'm not a great guitar player. So he'll get a laugh.
Either that's why I'm part-time.
Yeah. Here, you know what? My brother told me a long time ago, and I'm not saying this is what you guys do, but my brother told me, it doesn't matter if you are really a good guitar player or not, because if you get up on stage and make enough noise and jump around enough, that's all people care about.
Yeah. Make
See?
it look real.
He knows what I'm talking about.
Okay.
He knows what's up.
I make it a point to try to hit every corner of a stage every time we play, just for fun.
Have you guys had any unintentional accidents on stage? Like, Red was talking about when we saw him, how the guy slung his guitar around and hit another dude in the head with his guitar.
Ooh.
You guys have any stuff like that going on?
Well, he just recently broke an ego box, jumped up on crack.
Yeah.
You can hear it on a video we got. You can hear that plexiglass cracking on it.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
You're right. I haven't never failed, but I tell you, I've come close a lot of times.
Yeah.
Tripping over chords, stuff like that. And I'm thinking, man, don't face plant out in the crowd.
I haven't with Saving Darkness, but in another band I played with, I was going to get up on a stage monitor, and when I went to go, my foot got caught, and I jumped down and went like this, caught it with my elbow, didn't miss the riff, and then stood back up and kept going. But I about tumbled about 5 feet off of the stage onto the crowd.
But you made it look good, right? I meant to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's always the case. Part of the show.
Yeah. Well, I feel that every band's got some of those stories, because when you're out in the crowd, you don't realize all the chords that are running around the stage. And even though the bands appear to be not choreographed at all, they are a bit choreographed because you want to know where you're standing and who's doing what, correct?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, accidents happen. I mean, we were talking one time about, Robert and Michael Sweet being brothers on stage. And I said, well, if I was Robert Sweet, I'd do stuff like throw drumsticks at Michael while he was trying to sing or something like that, just to mess with him, just to get a rise out of him. You guys don't have those kinds of stories?
I can't think of none other than, you just mentioned that vape. We were playing at a place, and I pulled out the vape and got behind Mike, was playing a lead, and just blowed a big old cloud around him. He didn't know I was going to do it. And it just come around him. He's like, hey, what's this? This is awesome. So
we don't.
Kind of thing.
We don't need fog machines. We've got the vape.
Absolutely. Well, you stay teamed up there where you smoke. So, but yeah, we're Saving Darkness itself is about 7 years old. And we have transitioned in some players. Me, Mike, and Jesse has pretty much been here the whole time.
You guys
Jesse,
are the driving force.
Yeah, me and Mike is really the whole foundation of from where it started till now. In fact, we've invested probably the most because we've been there the whole time, equipment and stuff like that. Because when you start out from the ground floor, listen, even at 7, 8 years now, we still struggle for some equipment. I mean, we need $3,000 or $4,000 worth of in-ear monitor systems, which will change.
Wow.
I mean, we had the sound guy from Seventh Day Slumber tell us just the last show we done with them said, if y'all guys had in-ear monitors and a click track, you'd go from a local act to a national touring act, and they play every night. So,
yeah.
But when you're the front band, you got the least space, the least equipment, and the least time. So you really got to dig into that to make something out of it. So that's part of the struggle of being an independent, sort of say, band versus one of those ones that people setting everything up for you. We do all the work.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that I've always said about the smaller bands is you're the guys that you don't have roadies. You come in, you set up all your own gear, you tear down all your own gear. And I've done that a couple of times with bands, and that's not an easy job, setting up and tearing down, because you got to do it quickly and you got a whole bunch of stuff to move. And yeah, so it's not the fantastic celebrity side of being a band.
He's out there sweating, getting the stuff on the back of his truck, trying to get 2 hours back to the house.
Those drums are the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can imagine. See,
he's got to have somebody helping him. If he don't, he'll be holding us up. And we just recently experienced that. Like, are you ready?
See, that's why if I'm in a band, I'm going to play tambourine.
You're right.
See, because I'm just going to be like, boom, I'm ready. I got it.
For a long time, all I had was a pedal board and a microphone. I started back on guitar. Then I had amp, guitar, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
There's a little more work involved.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, you got a son? You put him to work.
I got 2 of them, but I can't get nothing out of them.
I'm going to teach you how to be a roadie, son.
Right. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Hey, Aaron, are we going to play one of Saving Darkness's songs here?
Yeah, Haunted. And so
Haunted. So the new one. Haunted.
Yeah, it's coming up. So if you're listening on Spotify Premium, you're going to hear Haunted. So,
and then we'll come back with Saving Darkness and
talk
some more.
Yep.
On the Rock Salt Muzkast Experience.